Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Boisterous coming to you with some one goal action out of the map Daybreak. Spying up here in the top right hand corner, we do have ItWhoSpeaks as the yellow Protoss, and down here in the bottom left hand corner, we do have LeeGall as the purple Protoss. I do believe that this is actually from a test build of OneGoal, so of course it was just one of those builds where people were, ItWhoSpeaks, who is of course the director of the OneGoal project. I don't think that's actually his title, but I think director is just such an awesome title. I'm just gonna officially give it to him. If you ever see ItWhoSpeaks, just say, "Hello, director. How's it going today?" Because honestly, that it just sounds hilarious, and it means that I'll probably bother him for a little bit, which is really what I aim for. I'll be honest here, guys. I just want to bother people. It's fun. I am the true internet troll. Well, we have ItWhoSpeaks going into kind of a crazy rant. He's gonna cast down the heretic with the strength of the Kala and set him free from his mortal coil, which, I mean, I guess that's not a threat you hear a lot. Definitely on the interesting side. Captain America, pop it in there, but I absolutely love mortal coils, and let's be honest, who doesn't? Mortal coils are pretty awesome. I'm trying to think of how best to describe your mortal coil. I'm pretty sure it's literally just the fact that you're alive, like literally. So I'm gonna set you free from the fact that you're alive. I'm gonna make you dead. That sounds like a solid plan. ItWhoSpeaks. Nice job. Alright, well, anyway, we do have, the gateway coming down from both of our players at this point. Nothing too surprising for this map. Now, of course, OneGoal is... It gets interesting in the PvP genre. I mean, it's... Because of all the changes that were made to it, it gets really, really wonky. Because, I mean, Immortals are a weird unit to have in that slot where Stalkers used to be, because Immortals deal a crap ton of damage. Like, a crap ton of damage. Oh, whoa. They moved Stalkers to the Cyber Core? Oh, sweet. This is probably a test build. Yeah, because I don't know. I've talked to him, and I don't think he was planning on moving them to the Cyber Core. Or yeah, to the Cyber Core. They weren't going to be T1.5 tech. They used to be T2. They used to be attached to the Robo. They used to still be able to warp in at the gateway, I do believe, but you needed a Robo to produce them. And that's actually a pretty... It's an interesting change. It sounds like he put sentries onto the robotics facility, which is of course why sentries are not in the gateway. But it's weird. It means that the Stalkers are going to just be much less powerful units, and Immortals are going to be a lot more core to the general gameplay. And interesting. And let's just check out. All right, so warp gates are still the same. However, I won't lie. I watched through this replay earlier because it's kind of long, and I wanted to make sure that I had plenty to talk about. I'm pretty sure they actually changed warp gate, and they just didn't update the tooltip, because warp gate cooldowns actually seem to greatly lengthen the amount of, or it goes from like 45 seconds to 55 seconds. I do believe. I think it increases the time it takes to create a unit by 10 seconds, plus the warping time, just because the cooldown is 10 seconds more. Just because, I mean, one of the strong things that OneGoal wants to get rid of with the Protoss race is they want to get rid of the dependency on warp gate. I think it's the best way to say it, because right now, I mean, Protoss automatically switch to warp gate literally as soon as they can. They research warp gate ASAP, and then they just swap into it, and they never swap back. It looks like we do have the Mothership Core from LeeGall spawning in. Now, of course, the Mothership Core has some pretty cool abilities. I mean, it still has the photon overcharge and the mass recall to Nexus that it doesn't have in HOTS, but Fortify is pretty freaking awesome. It means that the ability from Immortals, the Hardened Shields ability, where it reduces everything to 10 damage. It gives that to buildings. It gives that to a Nexus and a lot of the surrounding buildings around it. Or I think it can just give it to an area of effect of buildings. I do believe, but it looks like the Mothership Core taking a little bit of awkward damage. It's trying to scout, but it's not going great, to be quite perfectly honest. I mean, it's definitely on a little bit of the side of painful. And oh yeah, there we go. Tonight's movie, What? This scroll? Oh, there we go. Tonight's movie is Brokeback Mining Station, followed by Night of the Zerg 4. Nice. Dude, I freaking love Brokeback Mining Station. It's probably my favorite movie. And I know that a lot of people probably know about this purely because I pay attention to it literally every time we play on Daybreak, but these scrolls are awesome. I love these things. I can't wait to see if they have any new ones in Heart of the Storm, because they probably will. I'm going to be looking through like all the campaign missions when I play through it. I'm going to be like, is there a scroll in here? Is there Blizzard? Did you hide some lovely things on me? It looks like we do have ItWhoSpeaks Stalkers moving in, but the Mortals do a lot of damage to Stalkers. I mean, it's 25 medium damage to medium, and of course Stalkers are medium units. And it looks like they're just gonna be... I actually can't explain this one. Usually I can explain stuff. This time, no, they were literally just sitting there taking pot shots. That was interesting. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know. Wait, what? You're not limited to one mothership core? What? Oh, one mothership core per nexus. Interesting. Interesting. They're like queens, kind of, except not really. Huh. Oh my god, you can have one mothership per nexus? Whoa. Whoa. I think that's a test build feature, but I don't know. That might actually be a OneGoal feature. That's interesting. That's pretty wonky. And as far as what games I'm going to play through in the future, because I did mention my Let's Play in a couple of commentaries a little while ago, but I think I'm going to be doing the Heart of the Storm campaign on Brutal first time through, because that sounds like the right idea for me. Yeah, that sounds like the right idea for me. So there might be like some pauses in between games where I like realize that I completely fucked up my upgrades and I need to play through every mission on my way back up there to get my upgrades right. So there might be some breaks in there, but every video will be me playing through a mission on Brutal. And I think that's just going to be hilarious. It's going to be a lot of me yelling and giving nicknames to little tiny guys as we struggle to try to keep them alive through the campaign. I feel like the Bees is gonna die a lot in that game, because you know he's of course my always my perpetual first sergeant. The Bees, man, rest in peace, buddy. Rest in peace. It was hard to lose you in XCOM. Definitely hard to lose you. All right. Well, anyway, we have a bit of a poke up from ItWhoSpeaks, and I went a little bit of a side rant there. That was a little weird for me. Actually, no, it wasn't weird for me. That's basically standard protocol for Boisterous. Yeah, that is standard protocol for me. I do that almost every time. It looks like we do have the latent thermal surge coming out for LeeGall. Now, of course, the latent thermal surge gives Colossi the ability to it's hard to explain. Basically, Colossi fire in a straight line now, and latent thermal surge explodes that line after 1.5 seconds, which is really cool. Because it makes the Colossi a little bit more easy to micro against. It makes it a little bit more anti-death ball, because if you go in with a death ball against the Colossus army, they're just going to absolutely shave through your army, because they fire those straight lines and they'll hit more than one line of units, and they'll actually do a whole crap ton of damage, and it's very hard to get out of latent thermal surge. But I don't know, it has a lot of interesting components. We have quite a few force fields going down for LeeGall, and you'll notice that they do, of course, have health now. And they are timed too. I mean, they're also neutral, so as soon as you drop a force field, it won't automatically force the enemy units to attack you. It's kind of a decision you have to make. And it looks like we do have both of our players kind of just sitting back, being a little bit interesting. I mean, neither of them are making any huge moves at this point. It looks like we do have the robotics facility finished for both of them, so there are going to be Colossus coming after both of our players. However, latent thermal surge is not coming up for ItWhoSpeaks, which is a little bit of an interesting idea, because he does definitely have the economy to make it. It looks like he might just want to be dropping most of his economy into warp gate units, and here we do have him transitioning his gateways to warp gates, and you'll see the 40 seconds of the Immortals change. The cooldown is 55 on Immortals. Oh, whoa, maybe it's 45. Maybe the cooldown tooltip is just completely wrong, and all of them are actually 45. I honestly don't know. I think a lot of the tooltips in this game are just a little bit on the wonky side, because it's kind of hard to get it right. because I doubt that they could actually make its like cooldowns are different for different units. That would be weird. The only thing I really want to know is that can you warp in a round of units and then transform back into a gateway and build a round of units and then transform into a warp gate and warp in a round of units? I don't know. Does that cooldown only count down when you're actually in warp gate mode? It looks like we have a little bit of an engagement happening here. Lots and lots of force fields going down from our I'm guessing I have to guess this is from LeeGall, because those are really nice force fields to force a little bit of a hard engagement. And we have a time warp going down for LeeGall, or no, for ItWhoSpeaks, which will force LeeGall into a bit of an awkward position. And there goes the entire army from LeeGall. That's bad. That's not what you want in a situation like this. Now, of course, the latent thermal surge for the Colossi is going to allow them to do quite a bit of damage to this army, but it's just not going to be good at all. Like, at all. And those Colossi are just going to get sniped quite easily. It looks like we have the 2 Colossus move out. Oh, man. Oh, excuse me. Casting first thing in the morning is hard to get through without that extra burst of oxygen required from a yawn. Anyway, don't worry, ItWhoSpeaks. This game isn't that bad. It's early in the morning, and I slept like for 4 hours on the couch last night. So I'm a little bit on the tired side. But anyway, we do have ItWhoSpeaks building up a little bit of an army here with LeeGall doing basically the exact same thing. We have both of our players playing reasonably macro-y games, but this map is just so interesting. There's so much I can talk about. What should I talk about? People, what should I talk about? Oh, God. Oh, no. What am I going to talk about? It looks like neither of our players have gone for a Twilight Council, which is kind of interesting because Twilight Council actually, I think, has ItWhoSpeaks gone for a Twilight Council? No, nobody's gone for a Twilight Council, which is odd because Twilight Councils are very useful in this game mode because it allows you to upgrade these hardened shields so that the immortal shield effect goes down to 0.5 seconds, I do believe. So like if a volley of tanks hits your immortals, they still take full damage from a couple of the tanks. But if you're fighting off against other immortals or against stalkers, you'll typically have hardened shield up for everyone unless they're doing super awesome target fire. Which is of course much more cost efficient, which actually adds a little bit more barrier to the micro in this game, which I love. That's one of the big things I love about OneGoal is that it rewards micro a lot more than standard StarCraft 2. I mean, don't get me wrong, standard StarCraft 2 awards micro very well, and you'll see a lot of the players with the best micro be the best players in the world. However, it's not an interesting way to award micro, I think is the best way of saying it. It's kind of a bland way to do it. It's a lot of just dodging out of the way with damaged units and hitting the right units with your units and target firing and all that stuff. Whereas in OneGoal, it's very interesting depending on what units you're facing. Against Immortals, it's all about focus fire. Against Colossi, it's all about dodging out of the freaking latent thermal surge, or it will absolutely wreck you, which is awesome. I love that as an aspect to the game. And it looks like these Mothership cores, they didn't want to shoot. Screw shooting. Shooting's for losers, guys. Don't shoot up. Alright, well anyway, we do have the army from LeeGall and ItWhoSpeaks getting into a little bit of an awkward predicament. Now, of course, these immortals cannot shoot up, which I'm guessing is why he moved the Stonkers down to the warp gate, because they kind of still need that anti-air, because otherwise they'll get ravaged by both of the other races in a lot of ways. However, maybe the anti-air wasn't best on the Immortals, because Immortals deal a lot of damage to Armored, and it made what am I talking about? It made capital ships very, very bad in the late game versus Protoss, just because Immortals dealt so much damage to them, because they deal like a fuck ton to Armored, a fuck ton. And now they do a more modest amount. They do actually no, they do the same fuck ton of damage. They just can't target air. So you do have these Stalkers, which do a more modest amount. I mean, they do 15 damage, which isn't a lot. I'm not sure if that's actually in 2 attacks. I don't genuinely know if that's in 2 attacks. We do have Anion Fortification coming out right now, which will drop the Immortals to 0.5, or maybe oh wait, Anion Fortification was changed? What? Alright, so Anion Fortification was changed so that shields regenerate in combat for Immortals, which is awesome. Wow, that's a really cool change. Huh. So it basically means that Immortals benefit even more from the microing like the Stalkers do, where you blink them back, Except Immortals benefit from it a lot more if you just run them back, purely because of the fact that Immortals they regenerate health in combat. They'll regenerate those shields even though they just took damage, which is a very, very interesting change. It's definitely a little bit on the odd side and a little bit on the cool side. It looks like we do have ItWhoSpeaks going for basically every tech path in the imaginable universe. We do have a couple of forges coming out currently, along with a fleet beacon, which I think just finished. Where's the fleet beacon? There's the fleet beacon. Oh, matrix assembly builds twice as fast. All right. So it looks like we have some interesting choices going on for both of our players. I won't lie. I look at the patch notes for this game, but it's really hard to remember them because they basically completely shake up StarCraft 2, like as a game. Like, I just want you to think about this. Immortals are a tier 1.5 unit. That is like the biggest change to StarCraft that can be made in the Protoss genre. I mean, it's a little bit on the ridiculous side. And here we do have the Immortals fighting off, and we do see that anion fortification in action right now with all these Immortals regenerating their health. However, with beautiful micro from LeeGall, I mean, these 5 Colossi are going to absolutely wreck him. And ItWhoSpeaks is taking this engagement right at one of LeeGall's spawn-in points, which I don't think is the best decision. He does manage to do quite a bit of damage to the army and snipes off a couple of Colossi, but I don't know. I don't think that was really cost-efficient because he basically lost a lot of his army just walking up there. And that was, I mean, losing your army walking somewhere is a little bit on the rough side. It looks like we do both of our players just in an awkward Mexican standoff right now. I mean, this is, it's not a lot of room. It looks like we do have ItWhoSpeaks is doing the first move out here. He's going to be coming around with a loop around from the Immortals, but I don't know if it's going to be enough damage. And there we do have a lot of damage going down onto the main army of ItWhoSpeaks. And oh my god, it looks like he's going to be driven back. And the latent thermal surge is just doing so much damage for LeeGall. And oh god, this is not where you want to be at this point if you're ItWhoSpeaks. This is a lot of damage going down from latent thermal surge. And there goes all of his Colossi. There's all of his splash damage. I don't know why LeeGall isn't just fighting this out. And oh my god, he gets completely sandwiched in the choke. And wow, that was beautifully played from ItWhoSpeaks. LeeGall really needs to run, but he's just not doing it fast enough. And these Colossi is going to get away safely, but he just witnessed all of his friends and family die. I'm not sure how safe he is. I mean, it's going to be a rough spot for this Colossi driver. He's a little bit on the sad side right now. Now, these Immortals, of course, don't give a shit because they're just bodies trapped in like an amniotic sac of fluids, and they're quite mad at the world because, you know, the Protoss were like, hey, bro, we know you died and we know you went to the void, but hey, you want to get an Immortal for us? Don't worry, you'll be immortal. Ah, see, there's the joke because we're keeping you alive forever in the body of a robotic soldier. Have fun with that one, buddy. Yeah. You see the joke? Because I saw the joke. That was a pretty funny joke. I feel kind of bad about doing that impression, but I don't even know what it was an impression of. I think it was just like kind of, I think it was the Yo Dog. I think I was trying to be the Yo Dog guy right there. You know, Yo Dog, we heard you like fighting, so we put you in a fighting suit so that you can fight forever. And that was a really, really bad Yo Dog. Man, I suck at this, guys. I suck at internet. Oh god. Man, I'm so awful at internet. It looks like we do have ItWhoSpeaks doing a little bit of a move in. The Tempests are a little bit awkward for the Immortal Force Field fight, and these Tempests fly really high up when they pass over this little tiny piece of terrain, like really high up, like really, really high up. And it looks like kinetic overload does a lot of damage to armored units like these Immortals. However, with hardened shields, I mean, they're only taking 10 damage a shot, basically, because unless they happen fast like that, in which case, you know, you take all damage. And this is where that target fire really comes in for Immortal fighting units. I don't know why he's running away from units that can only fire at the ground. However, he is, and there we do have one of the Immortals getting sniped down. This little tiny force is trying its best to move into the main base, but it's just, oh god, he's going for the Cybernetics Core. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Snipe the Cyber Core. Oh no, oh god, no, ItWhoSpeaks. Oh, you depowered the robo facility. Good job, man. Good job, ItWhoSpeaks. You really should have just gone for the Cyber Core because I think you could have sniped it. I'm like 90% sure you would have been a pretty solid snipe. It looks like we do have a little bit of a Zealot movement in the fourth base of our purple Protoss player, and that's going to be doing quite a bit of damage to this base. And wow, there have been quite a few worker kills for ItWhoSpeaks. 52 workers killed. Holy crapola. That's impressive. That's really impressive. I'm surprised that we haven't seen a recall to that base go down. I'm not sure. How many? Oh, he only has one mothership core, and it's already up there. All right, I guess that makes sense now. I think I would have liked to see a warping up there, but sadly this mothership core is preoccupied. Or even like a fortify structures going down, or a photon overcharge, literally anything that would have helped in the defense of this base, which is like 4 abilities that the mothership core has, but instead he kind of just sat around with it and decided to not spend any energy out, which is interesting. Not the best choice in the world, but it's definitely a choice he could have made. It looks like we do have the Tempests from LeeGall doing this. Is a lot of Tempests. I don't know if Tempest is quite the right units he should have been going for, but we have both players going for them, so you know, YOLO, right? I mean, right, guys, YOLO, right? So we have both of our Tempests just kind of trying to fight each other, and actually they do hit air and ground, so the Tempests can kill other Tempests, and they will do a pretty freaking good job at killing other Tempests. I mean, they do 60 damage to other Tempests because they are, of course, armored mechanical massive units, and that's quite a bit of damage. That's a lot of damage, actually. That's a frick ton of damage. Alright, well, anyway, we do have both of our armies kind of just, you know, they're facing off here. And we have a nice swap into Stalkers, which is going to be pretty effective because, of course, Tempests do extra damage to armored, but they don't do as much to medium. I mean, they still do a reasonable amount to medium, but it's nowhere near as good. And, yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a game. It's very slow moving, but it definitely does show how OneGoal has mixed up the PvP matchup. I mean, LeeGall is kind of just in an awkward position right now, and I'm pretty sure his name is actually LeeGall, but I'm calling him LeeGall because that sounds way more funny, and I just watched Mulan, and I'm pretty sure that that's the name of one of the characters in Mulan. LeeGall? Probably not, but it sounds like it should be. So I'm just going to call him LeeGall from now on. And it looks like we do have the Tempest army from LeeGall coming in to attack the Stalkers. The Stalkers are, of course, linking away. There is the Immortal army taking a lot of damage from the Tempests. And, that's a lot of the Tempests doing massive amounts of damage to the Immortals. They are, of course, overkilling quite a bit at this point. However, the move-in is happening. The Tempests are getting sniped down. Those Tempests have awesome death animations. Holy crap, that's sweet. You see this? It just, like, explodes in a red nova, which I'm pretty sure is how the unit in the last Protoss mission explodes, because I'm pretty sure this is the Epic Phoenix from the last Protoss mission, maybe with just like the little sphere in the middle, which I think he makes when he does, like, how did they model this unit? So I'm pretty sure that sphere isn't there. I think that sphere might actually, like, they actually did that uniquely, which is kind of cool. It's pretty nice. But that's definitely not the Tempest model. It looks like we do have the snipe off going on all of the Tempests, and that's a lot of units going down for ItWhoSpeaks. He does still have the extreme money lead, just because he has way more workers. I mean, 35 more workers. But at the same time, he's losing all of his army and not getting a whole lot back in return, because he went for the snipe on the main base. And man, I really should have gone and taken a nap before I started doing this game, because I am 4 hours of sleep does not help with commentating. But anyway, we do have the main army from LeeGall managing to clean up the entirety of ItWhoSpeaks forces. 5 probes on the way at a time from LeeGall. Very, very cool. That's a lot of probes. It's quite a few probes. I don't know why this Nexus is sending the probes to its own harvest line. And I don't know why I'm talking with this accent all of a sudden. I think this is kind of Italian, but I kind of suck at Italian. So I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna go back to being boisterous. That was weird. Italian Boisterous came over me. He just, like, shrouded my eyes in darkness and, you know, talking like an Italian crappily. Alright, well, it looks like we do have the engagement from LeeGall coming in here. Those Tempests are going to be able to do a reasonable amount of damage, but a nice blink is going to force the engagement here, and LeeGall cannot take this engagement. There are way too many Stalkers here. And, you know, they're doing a lot of damage to the Tempests. They're pretty scary. Pretty scary units. It looks like the Photon Overcharge from ItWhoSpeaks is going to be able to do a lot of damage to this army. I mean, Photon Overcharge is, I didn't get to see the amount of damage it does, but it does a reasonable amount. It does a respectable amount of damage. It looks like the charge in from the Zealots is happening now, and I'm surprised that he hasn't gone for a more Zealot-heavy army because, I mean, none of these units really fight Zealots well. Immortals actually do a pretty low amount of damage to Zealots. It's only 24, which is like a 7 hitting Zealots, and that's at +2 upgrades. So, you know, they don't do a whole crap ton of damage to Zealots. Whereas Zealots do, I think, full damage to them. What's the damage type on the Zealots attack? It's just regular, so of course they deal 20 damage a swipe. And I think they attack a little bit faster than Immortals. Yeah, they attack a little bit faster than Immortals. And it looks like we do have the engagement going in for ItWhoSpeaks yet again, and he's managing to snipe off all the Tempests, which is pretty key, because now he has the extreme Tempest lead. Tempests are kind of like siege tanks for the engagement of the Protoss in the PvP genre, especially when you have players going for builds like this, where it's like a mortal Tempest versus Sentry or versus Stalker Tempest. Because I mean, it's just well, it looks like the main base was completely cleaned up by ItWhoSpeaks here. Or at least the 4th base, which isn't the main mining base, but it's definitely a pretty major one. And there goes a lot of probes. Let's just look at probes lost again. 88. Ouch. It's a lot of dead probes. I mean, that's like probe carcasses are just kind of scattered across the ground, and I think he might break 100. He does. He hits 103. Oh man, ding 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 ding. Big winner on the probe kill scale. And I think this is the end of the game. Pretty sure. Because LeeGall just does not have the money to fight off ItWhoSpeaks. ItWhoSpeaks has double the economy, actually way more than double the economy at this point. If we look at units, I mean, he has triple the economy. He has a much bigger army. He has a 200 army. He has all the production in his court, and I don't think this is going to happen. We do have the hardened shields going down on the base from ItWhoSpeaks, but I'm not quite sure why, because I don't think those units were, or that base was actually under attack at any point. And there we do have all the Zealots moving in, and yeah, this is game. LeeGall's going to sit in it for a little bit, but he has 4 mineral fields left at his 3rd base. All of them are running out of minerals very, very rapidly. I mean, he probably has enough for like a Nexus here. And there's too many Zealots. If he wanted to try to make this many Zealots, he couldn't, just because he doesn't have that much money. Like, that's a bad situation. I mean, like, he physically could not, because he does not have enough money. Just think about that, alright? He does not have enough minerals left on his side of the map to build that. And Captain America calling the "he's dead" Jim, which, pretty accurate. Definitely pretty accurate. I don't think anybody would argue with that at this point. And there the Nexus does go down, and LeeGall he's a trooper. He's doing his best, but oh god, it's not gonna work. We have all the Colossi trying to do as much damage as possible, and Alexander is asking if he can call the match as a referee. Oh god, I wish you could, man. I wish you could just put an end to this game. Because if we look at workers, there's 3 workers left for LeeGall. 3 workers. 3 workers. I think that's what he's talking about when he says 3 count. Either that or he's talking about when, like, referees tap out opponents and they're like 1, 2, 3. It looks like we do have a snipe going down for LeeGall, but you have 3 workers, bro. 3. Do you know how many workers your opponent has? Because it's more than 3, which I think is basically like a winning proposition. He has more than 1/3 of your economy over you. No, technically, I think he has like 2,000% of his economy. But you know, I'm not gonna insult him by saying that. I think that'd be a little bit mean. I think that's actually an understatement. It's more like 2,200%. I do believe. Either that or I suck at math, but I don't think I suck at math right now. Alright, so anyway, we do have LeeGall calling the GG and exiting the game. So anyway, guys, if you would like your games commentated, you can send them into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. Also, if you would like more games I've commentated, you can head over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and this is Boisterous, signing out.